I'd like to welcome all of you out here to Payson City Council meeting on June 4th, 2025. And again, it's just maybe a minute or so after 6 o'clock. We'd like to open this meeting with prayer, and Council Brian Hewlett will lead us in that prayer.
Our dear gracious eternal Heavenly Father, as we come before thee this evening, we're so grateful for the blessings we have in this area that we have to live in. We ask that thou bless the residents of Payson, bless them with peace and help them that we can all have harmony. And we're thankful for all that we have in this beautiful day, and we ask that thou bless us as a city staff and the council and mayor, that we can make wise decisions for this city and help it to be prosperous throughout time. And we say these things in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Brian. Council Teresa Hyatt will lead us in the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Teresa. Okay, we'll move on to the consent agenda, approval of the May 21st, 2025 City Council minutes. Unless there's any discussion about those minutes, Council, I'm ready for a motion.
So moved.
I'll second it.
Okay, we have a motion been seconded. Roll call vote, starting with Council Hyatt, Council Moss,
Yes.
Council Hewlett.
Yes.
Motion carries. Thank you. Moving on to D, petitions. Yard of the Month, Council would like to table this if we could. We're not ready for that Yard of the Month awarding. So any impact? Okay, we'll go ahead and table that. Okay, number 2, public forum. Anyone can speak on things that are not on the agenda. And please be cognizant of your time, and please let us know who you are and where you're from. So we'll go ahead and open the public forum. Okay, not seeing anyone. Oh, come on up. Appreciate you being here. You bet.
So my name is Richard Broadbent. I live at 535 South Main Street on Payson, Utah. 2 council meetings ago I came. There you go. There you go. So 2 council meetings ago I came and I talked about some of the things that I was seeing in town that seemed to be a little bit derogatory towards women. One of the things was one of the golf course and some of the things that were up there. Some of the trucks with some of the things that were on the side of the trucks kind of were.
And we're working on that. If it's not gone now, we're still working on that.
Yeah. And then another issue that I brought up was some of the stuff that was over here on Main Street. Some of the facades of the building and the old Four Seas building that were painted with ladies and stuff in kind of compromising positions. And so in the course of this time, I went ahead and I grammar requested the film companies that were filming things here in Payson at that time. And one of the things that came up was that the Cal King film company was filming here in town. They'd been given a permit and they were filming on Main Street. I remember when they were doing it, and I remember Poison Ivy was one of the things that they were filming. So I followed up on that, and I found that most of the stuff that Cal King is producing is pornography. It's pornography-related material. I've got a list that I'll go ahead and I'll leave some material if someone wants to take a look at it.
Yeah, please.
And they can see what was being filmed. But, I mean, the stuff's offered on Pornhub. It's offered in several different venues and pornographic venues, and it was what was being filmed here in our town. So based on the grammar request and the information that was found there, or that was provided, I was able to go ahead and look that up. it obviously concerned me, especially when there are trucks parked over at the golf course with the testicle group and other derogatory kinds of language towards women. So I guess the reason that I'm here is to kind of make this open so people are aware of it, and to ask you if, as a city, you were aiding and abetting in the filming of this material.
I don't believe we were.
Okay. One of the things that concerned me in what I read in the grammar request was, and I won't take much more time. I'll be
It's
brief.
fine. And just, we're going to let you tell us what you'd like, and then we'll take some follow-up on it.
What's that?
We will go ahead and let you say what you want, and then we'll do some follow-up on the other side of that.
Great. That's great. So one of the things I read in here was that as part of the guidelines in regards to the filming of this material, that the material that's filmed on personal property is supposed to be kept to a minimum and supposed to be kept to, I don't have the exact language right here. It's right here. Interference with the movement or activities of these owners or residents should be as minimal as possible. So I guess one of the things I want to ask the council is, did this give this company the ability to go on personal property and do filming based on it being kept to a minimum?
Well, that's something we're going to have to research. If we made a mistake, we'll take a look at it and we'll correct it. If we didn't, then we.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. I guess another question I would have is, are there still open permits for filming to be done here in Payson at this point?
We've had a number of companies that have come here,
But there's nothing open immediately at this time.
not that I'm aware of. Dave?
Okay, and then is there any way that the city's been able to follow up and see if the entities that were filming here, were they paid equitably, the people that were in the films?
I don't know what capability we have of doing that, but if we have some capability, we'll have the staff do that.
Okay, all right, fair enough. That was what I wanted to
Appreciate you
preach.
bringing that up. That's the way things are supposed to work, so,
That is. Do you have any questions in regards to anything I've asked about?
council.
That happened.
This
Yeah,
is
when
in
was that?
2001.
Okay.
I don't have any questions, but it's
Excuse
something.
me, 2021.
Oh,
Oh, 2021.
Yeah, this is a few years ago.
I don't have any questions, but it's something we ought to look at in our ordinance to see what our qualifications are and what movies, what can be filmed.
Right.
Maybe we need to do more research in what they're wanting to film and
And
what
that's
they
why I
have
said-
filmed in the past already.
That's why I say, now that you've brought this to our attention, we'll do some research.
Okay. All right. Anything else?
Thank you so much.
Anything from the staff?
The things are not at the golf course, so we need to clarify
Yes,
that.
yes.
Right.
Private land
It's private
adjacent
property.
to the golf course.
Right.
And we've done, and matter of fact, I talked with Dave 2 or 3 days ago about this. We've been trying to work on this for a year and a half, and no one wants that out of there more than we do.
I'm sure that's the
Promise you
case.
that, Yeah.
I'm sure that's the
And
case.
we're looking at every avenue we can to remove that. So,
Okay.
yeah, if you have any ideas, let us know.
Why?
Or if you don't want to let us know and just take care of it, go ahead and do that.
Well, I can do that.
No, I can't.
Now that I have your permit, now that I have your permission, consider it done.
We don't know what happened.
Not our property. We have a lot of people here that maybe overlooked that, no.
In fact,
Wait.
I'm pretty much positive that every woman with a wedge can go by and take care of what's there.
Yeah.
I'm sure of that.
Unfortunately or fortunately, we're a city, we have to play by the rules, so. So appreciate your comments.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Richard.
Okay, we're in the middle of the public forum. For those that just came in, if anyone would like to address us, then now's the time to do that. Okay, not seeing anyone here. Is anybody online, Kim? Okay, we'll go ahead and close the public forum. Move on to staff reports. Any staff would like to address the council?
I'll just make the council aware of one item. We're helping Tabitha's Way support. They're doing a food drive throughout the community, South Valley. They're trying to raise 15,000 pounds of food because it's their 15th year in existence. So we're going to have some drop boxes here at the city center, and we'll have some posters. We'll put it out on social media. It's for the month of June, so I just be aware of it, and we'll help spread the word. And hopefully, between many of the communities in South Valley, we can help them have a good food drive. So just to be aware of that.
Thank you, Dave. Carl.
Just quickly want to remind everyone, public and public online, that Adventure Day is this weekend. We'll be having the park open to the public at 10, roughly 10 to 2, but we've also joined up with Grand Fondo this year. They'll be starting their race at 8 a.m. and heading out west around West Mountain with a 30-mile, 60-mile, and then over Nebo Loop with their 96-mile race. It's been a lot of logistical work so far and more to come with that.
Just so everybody knows, we've done a lot of work to ensure that the Nebo Loop Road is open, so it will be.
Thank you. Yeah. So we're excited about that. Also, many activities happening, guided hike in Forebay, mountain bike tour in Forebay, different adventures. We've got the cornhole tournament going, cardboard boat regatta out at Spring Lake going. We have the Science Olympiad clubs helping with that. A variety of activities. We're going to do a movie in the park this year around 3:30, kind of when the Grand Fondo race ends. And a local company, and I forgot the name right now, is donating the screen, which is an LED screen and should be bright for daytime use. So it should be a good activity. One other new one is we're going to do bingo and give away some of the swag items for Home to Adventure. Every half hour, we have some bingo cards and randomized different things about Payson on there, maybe movies filmed here, locations to see, that type of thing, and do that every half hour. So that'll be a fun event. The library's doing the puzzle contest. Somebody just talked to me today about it. They've worked on the puzzle 3 times now, and their times have varied about 15 minutes up and down. So they're hoping for a new record on Saturday. So Brian, I don't know if there was anything else you wanted to add or on your turn. Thank you.
Thank you, Carl. Anyone else? Staff, come on up, Robert.
Just a few things, Council. First of all, Donna from the library couldn't be in person tonight, but she's with us online. But she asked me to let you know the library has created this really cool coloring book for the summer. They put a lot of work into this, and they have a copy for each of you. And she wanted me to point out, Mayor, that your mother is in this book.
Yes, they talked to, and so is my aunt, Irma
yeah.
Buys.
So this is really cool, and we're just really grateful for the library and all that they do. We're going to have a continued discussion tonight, but I thought this was a perfect time to bring this up. So thank you very much.
Thank you. How do we get extra copies of that? Now, I've got a brother and 2 sisters that would love to have a copy of that.
I think there are several at the library that you can grab.
Okay.
You have to do the reading program.
Uh-oh.
You have to
You don't know
complete
how.
the reading program and then you win a coloring book.
Okay.
Sign up online. It's awesome.
Okay.
That's awesome.
Anyone else? Any staff?
Sorry, we might make a special exception for your family, Mayor, and we'll give you one for free, but
Oh.
it's lots of fun to read, so.
I appreciate that. You have anything else, Donna? For the council?
Things are hopping at the library. Our summer reading kicked off last week. We've got over 700 people signed up, and it's just been, we had an activity that had 300 people, around 300 people come, and I think it's the busiest we've ever been on our first week of summer reading, and it's been so fun. So, and the parking hasn't seemed to deter people, so I just think it's been great. I hope you drop in and see how great it is.
Will do. Thank you. Any other staff? Okay, we'll move on to council. Council Hyatt, you get to be first.
Many things.
Well, okay. Council Moss.
Okay, I don't have much either. I just want to say my usual thank you to our staff and everybody, the police officers and firefighters and stuff. You guys are all awesome to work with, and thanks for all that you guys do and keeping us in line and informed.
I forgot to say something.
Then say it.
Came to my mind. Cemetery looked awesome. It was green. Thank you.
You know, along those lines, talking to the staff, that lawn was what, Thursday? It was mowed and it grew so fast
I
that,
know that's what I heard. Such a hard time of year to keep it
so,
from not growing for 4 days. But
But it looked nice.
Thank
And
you.
it was green and I appreciated it. I'm sure everybody that went there, you know, to look at their headstones and they're gone. You know, they look around and it's something that they appreciate. It's like, it's green. They said,
I'll pass it on. Thank you.
yes. Okay. Well, I'm just going to reinforce what it was just talked to in the public forum. You know, the city, sometimes we make mistakes, and if we do make mistakes, we'll admit those mistakes. And if they are mistakes truly, then we'll correct them. If not, then we'll just trudge on and continue to do what we're doing. So we appreciate people when they come to the public forum and let us know. And sometimes we make mistakes, sometimes we don't. So we'll end it right there. Okay, Council Field.
Yeah, I'll just have one thing. We in our downtown every first Friday of the month. We're gonna have called the First Friday, and so this Friday from 5:30 to 7:30, we're gonna have an event downtown. It should be fun. And a lot of it's to do with younger kids and bicycles. They can bring their bicycles and decorate them, and we'll have a safety thing on bicycles. Also, we'll have their police and fire and EMTs there to talk about safety for our children. So it's going to be safety for our venture for the summer.
Okay, thank you. We'd like to, you know, and I haven't done it, but we've got two council members that are not here. We'd like to excuse them, and they had other things that were pressing for them to do, so they are not here. But we do have a quorum of 3. So moving on, we'll go to E, action items, public hearing / resolution amendments to the Payson City fee schedule regarding utility rates and other fees. Kathy?
Okay, I'm just going to go through the suggested fee schedule and you can ask whatever questions you want. First, the first thing, this utility live operator processing fee, we just passed that, gosh, the last fee schedule, and it just didn't work out. So we're just eliminating that. On the utilities, we're proposing for all the utilities except for power, a 3% increase. And you can see, kind of see those increases here along the side. If I can get my thing to go here. For sewer, again, it's a 3% increase. Storm drain, 3%. Electric power, as you know, we passed a suggested power rate study that suggested we do 5.5% for 4 years. So this is the second year of that, and those are the proposed increases. In solid waste, a lot of the garbage collection fees also went up 3%. And then Kent had some specific things he wanted to adjust. The first thing is class 4 C and D. He wanted that changed to class 6 C and D. We had some problems at the landfill for residents and people saying they're residents when they're not or whatever. So we just added some language to request, excuse me, a photo ID. We eliminated, excuse me, half tires, and we increased the cost of tires. Excuse me. And the reason for this is that the state is really coming down on the landfill for tires, and it's just getting more and more expensive. And Kent's having the same problem with mattresses. We have been charging for mattresses by the ton. And care centers and other entities would bring just loads of mattresses. The transfer station charges per mattress, so they're all coming to Payson. It's just becoming a problem. Sorry.
So I have a question about that. Um, they're not taking them up there. They're just dumping them in all the fields and things like that. How do we stop that? Because literally, I'm getting tired of picking people's trash up and having to take it up there because I'm paying for it.
Gosh, that's out of my bailiwick.
Yeah,
I have to turn mine on. I'm sure the chief could sound into this, but it's illegal dumping, and in the county area, the county can take care of us. And correct me if I'm wrong, Payson City can take care of it there, and it would just be an illegal dumping. And sometimes it's a challenge to find out who really dumped it unless you can find some telltale sign of who left it there.
Well, and that's what I've wondered because it's like we clean it up and they just dump more, and it's
Yeah.
I don't know if it's the same people. You know, they go up a block and dump it in the trees and block the road so you can't get in there. And
Yeah.
so then you have to load it up and take it to the dump. So,
Yeah, we have the same problem out here with people that bring things that don't belong in those bins out there.
well, that's just, the mattresses. And
Yeah.
it's always mattresses.
Yep. So,
Okay.
well, we do have an employee that we usually go out and try to pick up along the roads too, but it's a constant problem.
Well, they go up inside.
Yeah.
Like they'll drive up a lane, like maybe seriously a half a block or block, and then they just dump it.
Yep.
So it's not like your people are gonna see that, but it's happening quite a bit in the last few years. $5 to go to the dump, are you kidding me?
yeah.
Just, I mean, yeah, you're gonna have to pay 15 if you take a mattress.
We'll do our best to keep that down. That's all we can do, I think.
Yeah, it's
Appreciate you.
Irritating.
Yep.
Oh, right there. God, I couldn't see it.
Okay, Kathy?
And the last two are just regarding impact fees. It's, I think park impact fees went down just a little bit. And public safety, it's just clarifying what's in the impact fee study. Let me show you this real quick. I hope you can see that. Can you see that? Did it come up? Gosh, I don't know why it
You
didn't.
might need to stop sharing and then share.
And then
it.
share the new one.
Okay. I don't think it wants to come up. Oh, there it might be. So if we look at the residential rate with the increases, this is kind of what we're looking at. This is with the quantity given. I kind of took a sample of what actual residents use. So this is the quantities that they've used. So it's not significant. It's a little bit of a raise, but it's not significant. It's about $11 a month for
Okay.
these changes.
Well, when we encourage increases, we have to, in some ways, we can't just keep eating that, so.
Yeah, the problem is we have to support the enterprise funds. Costs are going up in the enterprise funds, and we went really lean on this budget, so.
But I feel like people want things to stay the same, but everything's increasing, and I don't know how we get that out to the people when they're yelling at us like, why are you increasing it? Well, it's just like, because everything is increasing. Your food bill, your gasoline, your cars, everything is increasing, but they don't want the city things to increase, but it has to.
Yeah.
But I don't know how we get them to understand that, because some of those people have gotten really angry with me, and it's like, I try and explain it to them, but they're just like, well, they should be able to just do this without us having to pay more. And it's just like, this is what you get for living in America. You get something that no one else gets, but I just want to say other things, but you can't say those things. But I don't know how we educate the people that prices are going up. They will always go up.
Yeah.
I wish they would come down. They may stay the same for 5 or 6 years, but they will always go up from there. Nothing's going to come down.
becomes an emotional issue, really.
It does,
really
it is.
Well, it's not just emotional, it's real for
It's
people that are
real.
having a
I'm
hard
not saying it's
time.
not, but
People are having a really hard time making ends meet and with everything increasing. And then we have to increase too. I'd like to see in the next few years us make some serious decreases. Cause I don't think we cut enough. There are some things that we probably can do without. I don't know what at this moment, but for some people, an $11 increase might not be a big deal, but for others,
It might be.
that means a lot.
Right.
And I've been in that position before, and it's hard. And so we really need to, and not just seniors, like there are young families or anybody that, you know, maybe somebody's lost their job and they're really trying, they can't make ends meet. And so I think we have a responsibility to our residents, our citizens in our city to really take a hard look at some things that we may not really need at the moment, you know, get rid of some wants, and I don't know where,
yeah,
but
something we need to
to
look at.
offset this somehow.
And I didn't mean to be flippant by saying it wasn't, because that is true for
And
some
I know
people. That is
that.
a big
Yep.
increase.
I'm not faulting you guys at all. It's
Kathy,
just
you're awesome.
You really are.
Don't-
You know
don't
your
ever
numbers.
Take it personal.
I know.
I'm glad you're doing this and not me. Math is your thing, not mine. But I really, really, it hurts to see this increase, even though we need it, and I understand why. But I also am feeling the hurt that other people are going to feel. So this is a hard one.
Okay, Kathy, anything else?
No, that's all I've got.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Kathy. You're
Appreciate
awesome.
that. Okay, any other discussion about the information we've just received? If not, I'm ready for a motion.
Mayor?
Yes.
For a public hearing.
Oh, that's, I have a motion to open public hearing. Okay, I'm ready for a motion to public hearing.
I'll make a motion, we open for public hearing.
I'll second.
Okay. We have a motion been seconded. Council Hewlett,
Yes.
Council Moss, Council Hyatt. Okay, motion carries. We'll go ahead and open this public hearing. Please, if you have some comments, step to the mic, state your name and tell us where you live, and try to be cognizant of the time. So, and just mention if you agree or disagree with the previous comments that we've just heard from our financial director. Anyone like to come address us? Okay, not seeing anyone online. Okay, I'll accept a motion to close the public hearing.
I'll motion to close the public hearing.
I'll second it.
Okay, motion been seconded. Roll call vote, starting with Council Hyatt,
Yes.
Council Moss.
Yes.
Council Hewlett.
Yes.
Okay, the hearing is now closed. Any further council discussion? If not, I'm ready for a motion on this item.
I'll make a motion that we approve the amendments to the Payson fee schedule regarding utility rates and other fees.
I'll second it.
Okay, we have a motion been seconded. Roll call vote, starting with Council Hewlett,
Yes.
Council Moss,
Yes.
Council Hyatt.
Yes.
Thank you. Motion carries. Appreciate that very much. Number 2, resolution, adoption of the Utah Commercial Property Assessed Clean Energy Program. I think we talked about this a little bit last council meeting, and Robert, if you'll address us.
I'm just going to park myself up here for a little bit. Council, I really don't have much more to add than what was stated at the last meeting. I thought that that was a good presentation. I have that presentation if you have any questions. Also, Thede Chappelle is online with us as well, and we appreciate her being here in case you have any questions. But really, the purpose of this is specifically to allow some additional financing options for the development team that is working on the hotel adjacent to Walmart. Really, it provides some reduced financing rates that they're able to tap into. Payson City has no responsibility over this program. We have no um, really problems or anything with it at all. We just view it as an opportunity that this current business owner and developer wants to take advantage of. And by putting this program into place, it can be available for others.
I might mention too that I've had an occasion to talk with Gary Patel, the owner, and he is very, very much in favor of this program. It will help him favorably, and it'll help us vicariously with the hotel itself, and also the efficient use of those of water and other things. So.
Right. So really, that's all I have. If there are any other questions, otherwise, we just look to you for a motion.
Any further council discussion, if any?
Yeah, Robert, I have a question for you. Has our city attorney read through this just to make sure we have no liabilities?
Yes, he did.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
It's like, wait, yes, he did.
That was a good question because I'm,
Deer in the headlight just a second.
does this
Yeah.
restrict our city from doing things or having to do something or,
Yes. Yeah.
okay, okay, good.
Okay, if there's not any further discussion, I'm ready for a motion on this item.
I'll make a motion that we adopt the Utah Commercial Property Assessed Clean Energy Program.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and seconded. Roll call vote, starting with Council Hyatt,
Yeah.
Council Moss,
Yes.
Council Hewlett.
Yes.
Thank you. Motion carries. Okay, F, for this one, we'll have to adjourn to redevelopment agency. I'll accept a motion to do so.
I'll move to adjourn to redevelopment agency.
I'll second.
Okay, have a motion and seconded. The roll call vote again. Council Hewlett,
Yes.
Council Moss,
Yes.
Council Hyatt.
Yes.
Okay, just a reminder, as long as we're in the redevelopment agency, we're directors. So that's as much for me as anybody else. So, okay, Robert, go ahead and give us a presentation.
So council, this is a resolution where we have been working with MTech for quite some time. They're almost finished with their building out there, and we were able to have an opportunity to negotiate some space in that building to create an innovation center. The purpose of that innovation center that Brian was instrumental in kind of kicking that off and getting that started. Really, the purpose is to be a resource to the business community within our community, and to create a place where business owners and those interested in starting businesses or needing support for their businesses, or even a place to conduct business, can go. It'll be about 3,000 square feet of finished space. We were able to tour it, and it's really beautiful. The city is providing, we are leasing the space for a period of 10 years. That's what the initial, 11, excuse me. 11 years is what the initial lease agreement stipulates. We have the option to continue that if we want to. And then MTech, as part of the lease agreement, is providing all of the maintenance, all of the utilities, and also all of the equipment, including all of the furnishings for that space. So eventually people will be able to go in, if they want to do a podcast, there'll be podcast materials and equipment there. Hopefully we can utilize that as well as the city to maybe have the mayor's show or something like that. It could be kind of fun. But yeah, this is just that agreement that allows us to do that. And then that space will be open and ready for us when the building is open. So that's all I have. Brian, Dave, anything else to add to that?
We've went through a number of tours with different companies that Brian has arranged for, and I think there's quite a bit of interest in that. Most recently, the economic director, I think, is that what he was, from Juab County? He was really blown away about something like that. It would be very useful for them as well.
Yeah, similar facilities are found throughout Utah, and this will be one that will really be strategic for South Utah County, as well as Juab County and places further south. So should be good.
Okay, any discussion from the council? Questions?
Yeah, I have a disclosure to make. So I'm a trustee on the board for MTech, And when they voted on it at MTech 2 weeks ago, I recused myself on that because really I was representing the city trying to negotiate this. So I recused myself. I don't feel I need to on this because I have been trying to represent the city on this.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Then I'm ready for a motion.
Okay, Mayor, I motion that we approve the lease agreement with Mountain Land Technical College.
Okay, have a second.
I'll second it.
Okay, have a motion been seconded. I forgot which way we're supposed to go, but we'll start with Council Hyatt.
Director.
Oh,
Director.
Director, see what I tell you, it was me. Director Hyatt,
Yes.
Director Moss,
Yes.
Director Hewlett.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Motion carries. Appreciate it very much. Now I'll accept a motion to adjourn from the redevelopment agency.
So moved.
I'll second.
Okay, as directors, I'll accept that motion. Roll call vote starting with Council Hewlett.
Yes.
Not Director Hewlett,
Yes.
Director Moss, and Director Hyatt. Thank you. Okay, that leaves us with the work session. Robert, like you said, you'll be there for a little while.
So I'm just going to kind of kick this off. We really appreciate members of the library board being here with us tonight. Donna is here as the library director, just to have a discussion about the Payson City library policies, as well as the ordinance that kind of governs all of this. And this came about just as a need to make sure that it's updated and current. So up before you on your screens is the latest version of the policies. So the library board spent a lot of time updating the existing policies, and then allowed us to kind of go through, make sure that everything is kosher with the ordinance and things like that. So these were all in the packet. I hope that you had an opportunity to review them, but we can talk about specifics, and maybe at this time, Donna, anything that you'd like to add? And Carl's here as well.
You with us, Donna?
I am, I'm with you. I'm having trouble with the audio on my computer, so I'm talking on my phone, but, yeah, I just wanted to thank Robert for presenting the coloring books, but also thank Dave and Robert and the library board, because we really have spent a lot of time with both groups and really trying to fine tune the policies. So we want them to be very clear. And a lot of these were original to what the development policy, collection development policy, and the other policies were previously. We just were digitizing them, but we've also tried to clarify some things in them. So I'm just looking forward to having a discussion, and if you have any questions, let me know.
So I think this, the collection development policy, really, it just kind of puts out there that the library is there to provide a resource to all the members of our community, and to provide opportunities for them to have access to books and movies and magazines and all of those material that really help in the establishment of a community. And that's truly what the guiding principle of the library is for. I don't have anything specific to go over. Everything that you see that was crossed out, that's now taken out. If it's underlined in some color, because several people have been editing this document, it is new information. But that's all I have so far. So I'll just let you have a discussion.
Any questions, council? I think that they've worked closely with the library board, if I'm not mistaken, and although there's nothing that's perfect, I think this is something that's been very close to that
Yeah.
for us.
I'll mention that the purpose of tonight's meeting is not to adopt.
No.
This is a work session. And just to really get additional feedback if there are things that need to be brought up or further examined or anything like that, we can do that. And then when everybody is agreeable, then we can bring this back, both the policies and the ordinance, for adoption.
So I really liked everything that's written here. I just have a few comments to maybe look at. And I can't remember exactly how it's worded, but when somebody has a complaint, it goes to like through the library board to make a determination. And if they want to go farther, it goes to the whole library board, if I remember right. I'm just wondering a couple things on that.
So can
I
I
think
clarify? It goes to three librarians. Three of the people on the library will look at it, and then if it's not decided, then we turn it over to the library board.
Right. Yeah, that's what I understood. So a couple of things on that. One is because usually it's going to be with books or something that's in the library, probably that's coming to the library board or the three librarians. So I'm just wondering if we ought to put something that our attorney probably ought to be involved some way in that decision when it goes to library board or something. So do we have the attorney's opinion in that? The other thing is there going to be a step past the library board? Because they're going to come to the city staff or council or the mayor or somebody. So maybe there needs to be one additional step in there to look at. I know that's be a long process, but just some of the thoughts I had on that.
I like that thought because then we could have like an independent somebody. I think that would have been really helpful in our previous issues to have somebody that's outside the scope of it to look at it as well. So I like that.
Just kind of in this section right here where if we added a clause in there that a final appeal can be made to like the city attorney after we can work on some language.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
So, anyway, the other thing I had is, and I don't know how to even address this, but we have agreement with Santaquin, and then we also have an agreement, or anybody in our annexation boundary. But we're gonna have a new city, Spring Lake, that's between Santaquin and Payson. So what are we gonna do with Spring Lake?
What do you want us to do with Spring Lake?
Nothing.
I would imagine that it would fall under that policy of being good neighbors.
Anyway, I'm just throwing that out.
Any other thoughts on that?
Salem has an agreement with Elkridge that they supplement, like if somebody wants to get a library card in Salem, I'm going out on a limb because I don't remember all of the exact numbers, but let's say it's $60. The city will pay half. If they go show their library card, they'll pay $30 or they are contributing to it because they don't have the funds to start a new library, but they want their people to have access to a library. So maybe Spring City wants to look at something like that. I don't know where they are financially that if they could do that or not, but we have the deal with Santaquin, but they have an acting library. So there's some real questions with that one, and it really would be up to the city council, I think, if you wanted to just let us.
Okay.
Right now, they have to pay the non-resident fee, so.
So maybe we could flesh that out a little bit.
Yeah, that's right. Not until they become city.
I keep forgetting about
Okay.
Spring Lake.
Can I say?
I think it's been some substantial. Oh, yes, and
Hi.
I was gonna,
Okay.
let me say what
Yep,
I'm
you're
gonna, then I was
fine. Go
gonna open
ahead.
it up to, don't want to make a long drawn out process, but I'm glad to hear your input. But yeah, I think that it's been a process, and again, nothing is really perfect, but try to get as close to that as we can. So again, come on up and, oh, you got a microphone.
Carl gave
No,
me a
no, you're
fantastic
fine.
microphone so I can
You're
sit
fine.
here. Amy Pitcher, co-president of the library board. On those two issues that were addressed, the first one being taking the complaints past the library board to the city. As members of the library board, we're sitting here going, then what's our purpose? If we can make a decision and then it goes past us and is overruled, why do we exist? But this and the second issue Ann's going to address.
I think for the most part, you're there because you run the library. And then if it becomes an issue that the city council has to sound in on, then you're connected to the city. That's why the city council has to have a voice in that. That's where the financing's coming for the library. But you're the library board and, you function in that capacity. Am I right or wrong?
I think that's correct. I would just address that from the standpoint of most processes have an appeal process. You know, the library board obviously is an integral part of that, but even in our legal system, there is a way to, appeal to a higher authority or whatever that may be, and to a neutral party. And so I think that this could just be an opportunity to have the city attorney just make sure that everything has been followed correctly and things like that. I think the role of the library board is vital.
Yep.
Absolutely. And with the day-to-day operations and where everything is going forward and things like that, and the purposes and the goals for the library, I think that's where the library board shines. And when there are concerns that arise, I think the vast majority of them would definitely be handled with the library board. I think the council is just suggesting one more opportunity for appeal. So that's all.
Okay.
Am I correct in that, council?
I believe so. Yeah. Again, because you're connected to the city and the financing's coming from the city, there's liability for the city there. And so that's why we need to have a voice in it as well.
Okay. Ann, do you want to-
I am no longer on the library board, but I'm Ann Humphreys. So just to clarify, at the moment, Spring Lake is not part of the annexation section, so they should be paying as a non-resident for a library card would be my understanding.
Well, till right now, they're in our annexation boundary until it becomes a city, which will be, I think probably January 1st. So until
Okay.
then, but then after that, they will not be in our annexation boundary.
Okay.
Okay. Please, any one of you that would like to say something, please feel free to do that. Although it's not a public hearing, but we're interested in your opinion.
It's a work session.
Yeah, it's work session.
Okay.
Anything else?
Council.
So we'll kind of massage this a little bit more, and
Yes.
feel free to, everybody feel free to kind of channel comments and things like that. And we can do this again. We can bring it back for adoption, whatever we feel is best. So
Can
thank
I
you all.
interrupt?
I
I
think
need,
another work session would be good.
I need to interrupt
We're
right
fine.
there and say, I have to have the computer internet agreement has to be approved and signed by, and I don't think that one's really in question. And that one I just really has to be, it just has to go through my board. So I just want to clarify with you guys that the board, I need Amy, Pitcher, and Jennifer's signature on that one. And it has to be turned into the state for me to be in compliance with the state library by the 30th of June. So that one needs to be agreed upon tonight. If there's something you see an issue with in that one, we need to fix it tonight. But the rest, it can be an ongoing process.
So what do we need to do, Dave and Robert?
Well, it was just a work session.
It's
Right.
We really can't do anything.
I'm fine with it, but we can't vote on it.
Yeah, we could bring that back on our next meeting, which we have another meeting.
And that'll be before the 30th. So
Yeah, I think one of the things that I think is good about this is that the library board's had policies for a long time. And you can see we've just made some tweaks here, and they've been trying to update those since 2017. But I didn't find anything in the council minutes that we've approved those. And I think Donna and I and everybody feels like it's a good thing that the council is comfortable with the policy, the library board's comfortable with the policy, and we adopt that. Then if issues come up, we refer to the policy, and we follow the policy the best we can. So
And that's why we need to make sure that the policy is
Yep.
perfect.
Yep.
And we also updated the ordinance. We haven't gone over that. Do we want to go over that or just look at it? I don't know if you have any questions on the ordinance. The ordinance hadn't been updated for quite a few years. We just pulled out the state code, made changes according to the state code, and make it as close as we can to comply with that. So I don't know if the council's had a chance to look at that as well, but
It's definitely an older ordinance, like Dave said. So there's there's some new updated information, and Brandon has had the chance to also review both of these.
Yeah, and Don, I believe you've looked at it. I'm not sure if that was sent out to the board as well, but I don't know if the board's looked at the ordinance as well. Okay.
Okay.
I actually started comparing it to the city code months ago when we had issues, and that's what kind of brought it to light that there was a lot of things missing
Need to
from
be
it.
updated.
Yeah.
Okay.
So again, that's a good thing too. If the council has any comments on both the policy and the ordinance, but yeah, we can put it a proposed resolution for the council to address. If there's things that you want to, we noted the ones you brought up. We can look at those and see if we can add something there. But yeah, if there's not a lot of other comments, we can put it up for a vote on our next meeting and move forward.
Okay.
So while you're here on this page, I did have one thing. It says the library board shall maintain and care for the library. I don't think they want to maintain and care for the library. They want to be responsible or something, but I don't think they want to be doing it. So
That one's
Yeah.
actually from
And this
state.
comes right out of the state code.
really,
Yeah.
the state code needs to be fixed.
Yeah.
I
Up our
said
pay
that
grade.
too. I mentioned that when I met with them.
I know the
Yeah.
board and Donna doesn't want to have responsibility, but the state law gives the board quite a bit of autonomy. If you look at some of the other, and I looked at Provo and Santa Quin, they were probably the closest ordinances to the state code. But the cities provide most of the financial backing, so that's why you kind of need to meld those and mesh them together. But we tried to keep the language according to the state code the best we could.
Well, I want to make sure, and I'm sure that most of you are on the board. We do appreciate you and we do respect your opinion. We just want to make sure there's a method to respond to things out of the ordinary. And we trust you. And for the vast majority of things, you're it. So
So
thank you.
we'll work on those updates, and then bring back a resolution. And even if we need additional work, we can go from there, but at least get the internet part of it adopted.
Yeah. Donna, thank you very much.
And board, if you have any comments on either document too, email us. We'll sure look at things one more time and we'll take a look, and same with the council.
Yep.
And then we'll try to get something for you to address next council meeting.
Okay.
Thanks, Donna, and thank you, board. So you do a fantastic job at the library.
Okay, thanks everybody.
Okay, with that completion of H, work session, I'll accept a motion to adjourn.
I motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Yes.
Yes.
Aye.
Thank you, you said
You're
aye.
welcome.
Thank you. We're adjourned.